Hello commuters, I hope you like a good barbecue in the summer, because that's pretty much what's going on here in Cities Skylines with me, Colonel Failure. Last time around we started working on our burner city and transforming it into something that hopefully will be a little bit more compliant, nice, unpolluted. And while that was happening, there was a goodly fire raging out in the distance. So I bought that area in order to look at it better. I'm not deploying emergency services or anything like that. I just thought it might be nice to swing by and look at it all burn. There we go. Isn't that beautiful? Hopefully that'll keep up for a bit, because there's still quite a lot of trees there, and it's going to save me a job if it can burn through all of those. So yes, last time around we got our power situation well and truly in hand with this tall pole that does things with power. Apparently it's a geothermal solar updraft transnuclear something or other. But it's good. It's making all the power I need and then some. I think if we have a quick look over on the old budget side of things here, we'll see that you're spending that's the wrong graph. See, I'm still just a smidge rusty here, and therefore I need to get back into this and get back into the swing of things, and then it will start looking competent as much as it ever does. So consumption is a massive 53 megawatts, and we're producing 240 some odd. I think we can possibly cut down on the amount of budget that is being assigned to that particular task. When it comes to water, we're on top of it. When it comes to garbage, minor problems, but nothing that I'm going to worry about, given that garbage is always a problem. Right, okay, so what are we going to do today? Well, as you can see from the old demandometer at the bottom here, we've got heavy demand for industry, which is great, because industry is one of the finest and cleanest things that you can do to your city. And it's simply a question of which of the myriad islands that I have available to me at the present time. I don't know why I've bought just this kind of, I don't know, I'll call it a T shape, but it really is a very poorly drawn T. A teacher will hold you back at the end of class and say, like, no, this is how you draw a T. Now go and do me 500 of them, and then I'll let you go to playground. Yes, I think this chap over here is going to be our initial industrial area, given that it's got a fairly solid connection going on, and an awful lot of trucks using it anyway. So stick your feet up, relax a little bit, start breathing deeply already, because you know it's going to be ugly. Now then, before I start industrializing too heavy, I want to talk a little bit about the ethos that is going into this series. Now, I started out with a burner city, which, if you didn't catch the first episode, there's only one before this one. You could go and watch it, but I'll just bring you up to speed anyway. Basically, this is the fastest, loosest city placement you're ever going to come across, and it was built largely just to make a whole chunk of change. For those of you who prefer to play with costs turned on, like I do, it's just a good way of building up a bit of a bank balance, so you can actually get building on the go and a bit of population in without having to build 3 houses, then wait for 3/4 of an hour to build the money back up again. No, that's not how we prefer to roll. But where I'm aiming for is that over time we will evolve each island one at a time and make it into something glorious, glamorous, and not at all disturbing. But that's going to take time, and to get to that point, we're going to need to build more ugly before we start to build more pretty. So with that in mind, there you go. That's your pep talk there. Let's get rolling. Now then, I'm going to power up to start with, and we'll just follow the highway to make that happen. Now, eventually, I want to be able to keep all these islands powered without having to run flipping power cables over the top of each water connection, because it doesn't look very nice. I know that's a terribly vain thing to say, but given that Skylines has reached the stage of its existence where make it look nice is kind of a mandatory thing, or you're declared a heretic, that's something I do have to pay some credence to. Right, let's get the water set up now. This is going to make my water situation absolutely delightful, because industry typically is quite thirsty. But as ever, we will figure that out as we carry on. Now, I mean, I had hoped that the demandometer would be talking to me about how much it would desperately like new housing, because I was going to try and build something nice. But we're not there yet. Right, what have we got here? Is there a way I can clean the water? Because it's really stinky over here. And before I make it more stinky, it would be quite nice to see if there is an alternative to just creating more pollution. What does this actually do? Let's out excess water in the system. Yes. Creating lakes and ponds. Ah. Water evaporates and the outlet can be turned on and off to help with possible flooding. What? Well, if you're introducing water to the land in the first place, of course it's going to create flood. That's just a giant nonsense. Obviously, I'm going to build one. Pumping service, yeah. Vacuum trucks, then flooded buildings. I see flooding is a thing that they're kind of cautioning me towards here. I see. Okay. Okay, well, it's the water treatment plant, isn't it? I mean, there's no two ways about it. That's the way to get the stuff cleaned up. But it's not cheap. So that's a luxury item that we will look into having later. For now, my jolly citizens are just going to have to suck it up. Obviously, I wouldn't advocate that they actually suck it up. Because doing so will be detrimental to their health. And as you can see already, we've got health problems already. I don't need to work on that. I've got that sorted. Right, enough waffle. Let's actually get something accomplished, shall we? Right, let's have a ponder about how we want to do this. Because I don't want to disrupt the highway any more than is absolutely necessary. Okay, right. We'll start with roads that feel good. We'll go with a bit of one way down here. There we go. We're going in. That's some building happening. Right. Yeah, sure. And then a bit of no. Let's not go to that one. Let's go freeform. I'm feeling, I'm feeling like Bridget Bardot in the 1960s. Unconventional. Leading the way. And a bombshell to boot. Sure, why not? And yep. And then we'll just leave that alone. Leave it alone. Okay, right, now then, does that look... Yeah, that looks more or less as we want it. More or less. Now we've got a lovely sandy beach here that we can destroy. I don't do it deliberately, but it's just inevitable. What do we think of that corner? I think it sucks. Okay, let's get out the standard turning tool here and see about bulldozer off. Okay, that's going to require me to keep my wits about me. That is, because you forget. See, because in the old transport fever there, as soon as you select to place something new down, it cancels your bulldozer, which is a jolly good safety feature, and I advocate it across the board, but here it keeps it up anyway. Now, am I just going to mirror this rather weird little shape that I've built? I rather think I am. Now, do we want to keep any kind of a tree buffer in there so that we're not just polluting everything? No, the more smog the merrier. Helps keep it all company. Right, now then, let's switch back to Captain Freeform here, and we will go with A little bit further, like that. So, sticking with the one way, what we're going to get here is a bit of road that kind of that doubles back on itself. I've gone standard curvy here, haven't I? No, I haven't. I am still freeform. That one's not quite such a big lot on that corner, but that's acceptable. It's giving me all kinds of pointers here to say, like, oh look, there's a line connection to the next segment over. If you were to just pull this way ever so slightly, I'm going like, yeah, whatever, mate. I'm not really that bothered. All right, give me this as well. We might end up naming these streets, you know. Right, what are you? Upgrades. You are curved. You are supposedly freeform. You don't feel very freeform. You feel like I feel like I'm being constrained. Come on, that's it. A bit of just. Would you just be elegant? As much as I'm going to fill all this with pollutant belching, smog-ridden hellhole industry, it would be quite pleasing if the roads look good. Okie doke. Right. Yeah. That's a solid proposition. That is. We're even going to leave the lovely beach intact for now. Anyway, maybe I'll put some restaurants along there and see if we can get some tourism. Tourism and smog. Happy bedfellows. May they ever be. Well, I might not be making the optimum use of the road's placement here, but I'm quite pleased with this little coastal number that we've got going on. I think I've got a car park as one of my mods somewhere that I could stick in there. Now, I think also that I may have gone a little overboard on the one-way streets, and that at some point it's going to be nice to let people go in more than one direction. However, I'm not going to let that slow down what is a lovely day, and progress is occurring. There we go. We're going to sacrifice this beach to the gods of industry. All right. Yep, that's not so bad. And then obviously, when you've had enough of that, you can cross over onto the other side. Now these don't line up even remotely. It's going to try and force me to connect up to that little point there, which I never used to do. Oh yes, it did. It just didn't tell you that was where the only place was you could connect to. So we'll do a bit of that, and I'm being incredibly generous by letting them travel on both ways on that one. I imagine they're going to be choked with traffic in almost no time at all. Right, whatever the one-way system is you have to contend with on a regular basis in your provincial town, I've got you beat. This one is going to be quite the masterwork. It's going to make Coventry look like a doddle. Right, let's... No. Everything you're doing is bad. Let's try that again, but better. Now, I'm tempted here, of course, to link directly over onto the freeway, the highway, the motorway, the road there. Why can't you just be cool? Be cool. I mean, I appreciate that it's my fault, but no, see, you're still trying to bulldoze. Let's try it with the bender here and see if that gets us the result that we're so desperately craving. Right, come down about 5, yeah. Go 90 degrees, right. That looks promising. There you go. Well, that's a hideous corner, but it does actually get the job done. I'll put in one more little connecting line there. No, you want straights. Thank you. All right, I think that's going to work. I don't think it's going to work particularly well. I think that there are some inbuilt problems into that. Well, it's a racetrack, isn't it? Let's be honest. But no, that's going to perform, ish, kind of probably. Now then, next up, let's stick this on here. No. All right, let's have an off ramp that's the worst off-ramp you could possibly build. What you want is something that is a legitimate off-ramp. So we'll start with that and see what we feel about it. Well, that is at least a legitimate off-ramp. Okay, right, we can work with that. I hope you like road building, because that's the order of the day there. Right, it's offering me things with sound barriers. How quaint. Let's double up on this one and see if we can get somewhere with it. Right, now then, I'm going to follow the curve of the highway. Am I? I'm not going to quite follow the curve of the highway. I will do in a moment. In fact, I might have another stab at that. I've got a picture in my head, and I'm hoping to make it come to life. Yeah. That's it. That's what we want. That's better. Right. Okay. Now give me this, and we'll. And now I'm going to freeform this sucker like it's never been freeformed before. Or it probably has been freeformed in this way before, but I'm freeforming it anyway, and I'm taking all the credit. Get as far as that. There we go. This is... When I say I'm going to... what I had in my head was I was going to neatly follow the track of the highway here. But I'm making a bit of a dog's dinner of it. Am I not? Alright, what if we went all the way over there? Is that... I mean, it's going to make for a neater curve. No? Yes? No? Ah, we'll take it. We can work with this. This is all fine. And then we'll continue around the corner, and then actually we will merge back on to the highway at the other end. Now that is quite an abrupt turn there. I ought to make that illegal. I'm going to make that illegal. Let's get rid of this. Give me the roadminator again, and turn that into a slipway. There we are. Not a slipway, slip road. Slipway, boats, slip road, that. Okay, fine. Now then, let's finish this off. I'm going to turn this into two-way down the bottom here in order to allow people the freedoms that they've been craving lately. I've seen petitions, and I am not oblivious to their demands. That's it. Continue up like this. Now, I do have to come up with some kind of solution as to how to get onto the other side of the freeway. Typically, I do a roundabout for that, which is there's always a lot of entertainment value in roundabouts, because they never work particularly well. Now, I do have the traffic emperor, the traffic supreme leader, whatever they've decided to call it these days. I've got that installed, but we're not quite ready to monkey with it at the current time. Okay, I like where this is going. This is not completely hideous. Now we're going to want a few connections between the one-way system and this gigantic two-way section we've got up here, just to allow a little bit of traffic throughput. Because if we don't do it, then, or if we don't do enough, the few junctions I do have are going to be basically hideous in terms of the level of traffic they're going to get. And in fact, what I've built here is something that is going to be pretty hideous traffic-wise. But we will get over that when we see the massive amounts of money that it generates. And that's before these people even see the taxes I'm going to be charging them. To say that they're going to be paying through the nose is an understatement, and noses everywhere. Right, let's build a big artery out of this one. Give me the wiggler. There you go. Right, and then you wiggle your way down here. Rather like this. There we go. Right. That's not awful. It's not great, but it's not awful. But what it has given me is a heck of a lot of space to play with, and then loads of room to expand into later. Right, let's just put in a quick parallel there. Give you the straight road, because, you know, straight is great after all. There you are. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we'll put one more in over that way. Yeah, the amount of one way that I've got in here is slightly perturbing, but I'm going to see if it works, and we'll worry about making it work better a little later on. Now then, right, for my next trick, we shall do something similar in the opposite direction. Let's go from here, and that way I've got a little bit of room to manoeuvre when it comes to the placement of a slip road. Now the real challenge, of course, is going to come from trying to get either under or over to connect back onto this onto the freeway. Yeah, and then yeah, take your life in your hands getting back on the interstate there, but it'll do. It'll do. This is baby steps. This is building up a nice big fat city that we can later evolve into being a nice big fat well-designed city. How do we feel about that? We feel quite relaxed about it. Okay. Do we want to give people the choice to exit elsewhere? No. They can drive the entire length and then get back on. Now then, how am I going to do this? Well, I think we start here. Do you? I mean, is that wise? Well, what's going on in my head is something that comes out like this, then goes around the top and then comes onto this side and merges back on again. But that feels terrible. And probably is. All right, okay, fine. Let's get this done. Activate the pause. We're going to build a ruddy great something or other in the middle there in order to facilitate people going in both directions. This is when we talk about traffic dilemmas that are going to occur. There's a big one coming up. Right, now then, what do we got here? 4-lane highway. It's not very much, is it? Okay, well, it's going to have to be enough. Right, we'll build this in isolation. This is going to make what normally when you build roads in the real world, obviously, because that's something I do all the time. When you create a new development of some description, it's to make people's journeys more efficient than they were before. Not me. No, that's not how we roll. Instead, I've opted for how can we slow everybody down and make it so that you receive death threats from truck drivers, and that's the result. No, actually, I think there's a better one here we can do. You've got to be somewhat impressed by the elegance of that circle that I just created there. But what we're going to do is how are we going to do it? All right, we're going freeform, which is always a clever idea. Right, let's go like this. Take it just a little bit that way. Sure, let's take it a bit that way, just for the sake of it. And then we'll head round. Go on, keep bending. That's it. Yeah. All right. Yeah. This is better. Right. Delete that bit and then connect it up. So this is a big roundabout and significantly uglier than the one that I built previously. But what it is giving me is lots of junction opportunities. So that's the positive coming out of that. Let's go from this one, and no, it's being very clever. Let's go around like that. No, I don't. What I want it to come straight off there, but it's not going to let me do that. Okay, maybe it will. It's not going to let me do that in a pretty way. No, it definitely isn't. Yeah, that's encroaching on just about everything. Handsome. We are going to revisit all of this. This is about getting it going in a suitably short amount of time. This is an amazing work of genius. This is just going to clog up absolutely. I used to be really good at this game, you know. I used to build things that people went, yeah, that's pretty good. I'm going to go, yeah, I'm now going to disappear for 18 months. I'll come back and we'll see if I've still got game. I look forward to seeing that in motion. In fact, I'm going to turn it on now, and we'll see how the traffic deals with it. I imagine it's going to deal with it brilliantly. Oh yes, absolutely. And this is why you need some kind of traffic management mod, because the devs had obviously clearly never seen a roundabout in the real world before, and therefore it gives priority to traffic that is merging rather than traffic that is already on the roundabout, which is just inspired. You know, as far as turning this into a puzzle game is concerned, they could not have done a better job. Right, let's put you on there. This is just going to create absolute mayhem. And you can come out over there. Now, this is the wrong way to do it. If I'd have done it the other way around, it would have meant that traffic was exiting before it was entering. But what I've gone for is that we put more traffic on first, and then we drain some out afterwards. This is going to really assist in snarling everything up. Now, of course, the other question was, what was the benefit in doing this? Oh, it's in order to get some traffic from here onto there. Oh, this is just going to be awful. I love it. Because obviously, if I don't make a complete pig's ear of this, I'm going to have nothing to fix. And fixing, this is the smarter way to do it. And fixing is where the joy comes from in life. Getting it right first time, yeah, any idiot can do that. But making a real pig's ear of it and then having to fix it later, now you're talking. That's rich gameplay. Right, now what's going on here? What manoeuvre exactly are you trying to pull there? Alright, what manoeuvre exactly are you all trying to pull there? You've got tons of lanes, just stick with it. Oi, Michelin, come back here. What are you playing at? You crazy, crazy people. Alright, well, look, you're trying... No, that's it. No. No. If you don't want that many lanes, I will give you fewer, and then we'll see how you like it. Right? Consider yourselves punished. If you're going to merge anyway, I'm going to make it, you know, completely horrible for you to do so. Now, that's throttled them. Meanwhile, we've got some people going for a Grand Mystery Tour here. Going to go, well, I don't know where I'm going, but I'm going to keep following this tractor, because tractors are always heading somewhere. Where, in fact, is this tractor heading? That is the question that we're all asking right now. Where are you? What's your plan? You found yourself in a one-way system with no one else on it. I'd have loved it if he had to wait at the traffic lights there. Right, we're all in. Right, where are we going? Tractor on a mission. Taking the road less travelled. Or in this case, the road never travelled by anybody ever at any point previously. Like a good citizen, waiting at the traffic lights, pushing on. And then it's going to merge on. There you go. That's beautiful. Doesn't really look... Oh, look at that. That's aggressive. Right, smashing. Let's now whack in. Give me the yellow zoning tool, please. Industrial zone. Oh, does it pollute? Oh, no. Give me the massive bandbox option. There you go, sorted. Now, you know, if you want to know the technique that I employed there, just ask. I realise it was quite subtle. The but that's what training gets you. Right, let's head out all over this way. There was a time, you know, when I tried to do all of this very slowly in order to create, you know, no overlap and, oh, it's all perfectly lined up and that's it. And, oh dear, there's a gap of one tile. These days I just kind of go, yes, wang it in there. Let's make sure everything's covered. I am hardly building the great Victorian sewer system here, although it is quite likely to have the performance of the Victorian sewer system prior to the actual Victorian sewer system being made. It's quite a convoluted way of saying that I've built this in an unnecessarily bad way. Keep going. Oh look, there we go. They've got some people in there. Yeah, I'll give you some water now. I'll change my plans and make sure you get water immediately. I mean, don't get me wrong, you could have gone for the area that's got power, but you decided not to because, you know, you're a rebel, you're out there, and you like to do things your own way, and ain't nobody going to tell you different. Where should we go from here? Right. Yeah, I know you're complaining about power. That's because you built somewhere where there's no power. You loony. What do you mean it's already occupied? I'm just taking a branch off a pipe that I've got already. There you go, have some water. Hey, we've got water now. Got any power? No. Oh, where is the nearest power? And you kind of go, well, it's halfway up the carriageway, mate. It's a bit of a trek from here, if I'm honest. Right. Everything is now wet. Now let's add electricity to it, because that's exactly what you want to do. Again, we're going to have to place pylons for the time being. I shall come up with a more elegant solution in the fullness of time. I think they've actually got the ability to lay underground power now. Although maybe I dreamt that. There we go. Right. Have some power. I got the power. You got the power. They got the power. There we go. That's it. We're in business. Right. I've built a horrible roundabout. I've messed up a highway that was brilliant, and we've got a ruddy great industrial area that goes on for about a month and a half. I've been Colonel Failure. Thank you very much for watching today. I'm going to give him a fire station because not doing so would just be churlish. Yeah, a power station, a fire station is a really, 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 really good idea at this point. Where's the best place for it? It's here right now. I love how some of these trees are red, and some of them are green, and some are blue. Fire safety, hazard level high. I look forward to seeing the hazard level in full effect. Yes, who am I? Colonel Failure. What is this? Cities Skylines. Thank you very much for watching. We've got quite a lot more to do. We've got a lot more space to play with, and we can make a mess of all of it. And I look forward to doing just that, and I hope to see you there soon. So chuck a subscribe in this direction if you feel like sticking around for a bit more of this series. It's chaotic at the moment, and it's only going to get worse before it gets any better at all. And feel free to sling a like if you had a good time today. I'll catch up with you very soon. Should we find something that's worthy of looking at? Traffic's always worthy of looking at. I mean, you know, that never goes out of fashion. There you go. Palm trees and trucks. Well, Sim, Florida. Cheerio.